Hello everyone, it's me, Carrie, and today is December 27th, so I hope you had a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate, and New Year's is coming up really soon. But I wanted to talk about an interesting milestone that might be coming up in the BFDI world. So, some of you might remember that half a decade ago, I uploaded this Humany video called The Dream is Over, and I don't want to play the whole thing. Then the most subscribed channel had subscribers. But basically, I was talking about how our most viewed YouTube video, which is BFDI episode 1, had like 50 million views, which is, incredible at the time. I don't know how that happened. But one sort of dream goal I had, like a pie in the sky, reach goal, was can we get our most viewed video to have more views than the most subscribed YouTuber had subscribers, which at the time was PewDiePie. And for a few years, it was getting close, right? But during this time period, the whole controversial PewDiePie versus T-Series war was happening, and the subscribers were accelerating. So me saying the dream is over is because I was realizing and accepting that at that moment it was looking less and less likely to happen. Also because at that time, it's an old episode. Episode 1. Yeah, you can see the whole graph. Like as the first season was kind of like falling further and further into the past, and more seasons were coming out, like BFB. The views for the first episode were going to slow down inevitably, which I am not sad at all about. Any episode getting this many views is just incredible. So like, obviously it has tapered off, and T-Series and other YouTube channels like Cocomelon and MrBeast have continued to accelerate. So I am cool with this stream being over. But when one door closes, another opens. And so the dream I've been thinking about lately is, can we get a YouTube video to have 100 million views? That's obviously like outlandish, like way up there. Like there's no way it's ever gonna happen. But I just thought like maybe like, dream high, and maybe there's a small chance, you can reap the rewards of your dream or something. So anyway, the first episode of BFDI has around 67 million views.
Yeah, I know. I know. She was so surprised. Really?
Okay, I'm not gonna play the whole thing. But yeah, 67,325,000, and that is 2/3 the way to 100 million. But you can see that at the rate it's going at right now, of about like 2 or 3 million views a year, it's gonna take like a decade plus. Like it's not gonna make it there. So like I'm not gonna wait till I'm like 40 for this dream to happen. But there's also the BFDI compilation video of the first season. And so here's what I'm thinking, like 67 million views essentially means that 67 million people, or not million people, but like there were 67 million watch sessions that started with Match saying, yeah, I know, she was so surprised. And then if you go to the BFDI season 1 compilation, that has another 32 million views that start with Match also saying,
yeah, I know, she was so surprised.
Like, very few people who watch this watched it all the way through. But I think it's more than likely that of these like 32 million views, they had to have sat through that first section of Match saying, yeah, I know. So I'm taking that like dream of like, can we get a YouTube video to reach 100 million views, and sort of like modifying it to be, can we get it so 100 million view sessions started with the, yeah, I know, she was so surprised, because, every view through here is kind of a view for the first episode. So basically, we just got to add together the 32.6 million views on the compilation video with the 67 million views for the very first episode. And okay, I know I'm like rambling, but we get this. Can you see that? I think you can. So on yesterday, okay, December 26th, BFDI 1A had 67.317 million, and the compilation was 32.609 million. So if you sum those together, well, that's a very close to 100 million. It's 99.9 million. And then the next day, which is today, December 27th, it's a little bit higher. I think the first episode got 6,000 and the compilation got another like 15,000. So the sum now is 99,948,073. So every day it seems to be getting about 20,000 closer to 100 million, and there's only about 50,000 left to go. So it's going to only take about 2 or 3 days to reach the big milestone of 100 million. But if I didn't make this video, I doubt most people would know this, because, no one would think to sum together two video view counts, right? That's not something that naturally YouTube will do. You have to kind of go through the effort of like creating this Excel spreadsheet to figure out like, oh my gosh, it's getting close. So I just wanted to make this video so you're all aware, so that you can like kind of track these two videos as they get close to the milestone. What's really convenient is that they are the two most viewed videos on the channel, so you just sort by popular and just sum the top two videos, and there you go. And nothing really special happens when like the 9-digit view count is reached. Like no one changes or transcends, but I just think it's a cool milestone. And of course, I don't make YouTube for the views or the numbers. It's just because I think it's fun to make. But I think this would be a good way to kind of celebrate that, like, wow, something Michael and I created when we were 12 as kids in our bedroom has like a somewhat decent viewership, like a little bit more than my middle school. So I don't know. I think that's just a cool thing to acknowledge. The other thing I wanted to say, though, is that technically I've looked through the data of the audience retention for the first episode, and the first second,
Yeah, I know. She was so surprised. Really?
that section technically has 106% viewer retention. So technically there's like 69 or 70 million playthroughs of that first second. So technically, like, you could push this above 100 million as it is. But I feel like that's a cheat. You can't just count more views because the audience retention is more than 100%. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.